This is a community analysis of Safety Harbor presented to you by Emily Schmitt. I hope you enjoy. This presentation, I'll provide a brief historical overview of Safety Harbor, as well as an analysis of Safety Harbor's structure, population, health-related resources, environment and government, and public policies. I'll go over 6 community needs and problems at the end. In 1539, an explorer named Hernando de Soto discovered the community and the natural springs that lay under it. De Soto thought he had found the Fountain of Youth and named the city the Espiritu Springs. In 1890, the city was called Green Springs. In 1970, the city became incorporated and the name changed to Safety Harbor. When people got news of the so-called Fountain of Youth, they flocked to the area. Safety Harbor now has a population of 18,000 people. The natural springs helped the city gain its fame and keep it. The Safety Harbor Spa and Resort is located on top of these natural springs and is a centerpiece of the community. The housing structure of Safety Harbor consists of condos, houses, and mobile homes. Homes near Tampa Bay are $1 million homes. Homes in downtown Safety Harbor have an older build that contain an artistic charm that is being painted with vibrant shades and contain artistic statues in their front yards. Most of the homes in Safety Harbor are considered middle class, ranging from $200,000 to $400,000. In the downtown area, there are government-assisted housing such as U-Park housing via a HUD apartment housing system. The variety of home types in government-assisted housing provides an adequate housing structure for this community. This community has provided a great outdoor active lifestyle for its families, making it an adequate and healthy community for its families to live in. Philippi Park is in the northern end of the community and has a walking trail, playgrounds, gazebos for parties, and areas to hammock and a boat ramp for water activities. This community provides many outdoor activities, including community markets on the weekends, outdoor yoga, song festivals, and art festivals. Driving in downtown Safety Harbor would be hard to miss the artistic vibe this community encompasses. This community also contains a public library located in the downtown area as well as a community center. After talking to a few community members at a weekly market, I found that one thing this community is lacking structurally is enough parking for its population during busy weekend activities. From personal observation, there is a lack of public parking laws and no current parking garages for people to park in, leading to illegal parking activities. As of 2018, Safety Harbor has a population of 18,000 people. 86.3% of Safety Harbor's race is white, non-Hispanic, or Latino. This is a much higher percentage compared to Pinellas County at 73.8% and the state of Florida at 53.5%. This large percentage of white Americans in Safety Harbor leads to a lack of cultural diversity and can increase racism and discrimination. Another problem associated with the population is the population's growth in the past 10 years. Safety Harbor has only had a growth increase of 4.6%, which is low compared to Pinellas County's increase of 6.4% and Florida's increase of 14.2%. A slow population growth can potentially lead to slow community development and growth. The top 2 communicable diseases for Pinellas County are chlamydia and gonorrhea. In Pinellas County, for every 100,000 people, 426 of them caught chlamydia from 2014 to 2016. This is a much higher rate than Pasco County, which is only 222 people for every 100,000 people. These numbers are alarming, and healthcare workers need to step in. Increased education on STIs should occur at doctors' offices, long-term care facilities, as well as sex ed classes in high school. Free condom protection programs can take place in the community to help decrease this rate. Number 3 and 5 on the top 10 list is Salmonella and Campylobacteria. Safety Harbor contains many mom-and-pop style restaurants in the downtown area. If workers are not careful during the food process, foodborne illnesses can be passed around the community quickly. The leading cause of death in Florida include heart disease, cancer, and stroke. A way to help reduce the number 1 leading cause of death of heart disease is to increase outdoor activities and exercise. Safety Harbor can do this with their wide variety of outdoor activities and lifestyle that we discussed earlier. There is an abundance of healthcare facilities located within Safety Harbor. Since most to all of them take major insurances, Medicare and Medicaid, they are affordable to the community. Meeks Countryside Hospital is located within Safety Harbor. This facility contains an ER, maternal and newborn care, pediatrics, psychiatric care, and general med-surg care. This facility also houses many primary care providers and specialty doctors for outpatient services. Safety Harbor has an abundance of assisted living facilities and nursing homes, 2 of them including Consulate Health Care of Safety Harbor and Evergreen Manor. This cost can range depending on the care needed and the length of stay. Most of all these types of facilities can provide 24/7 care to their residents. There is an urgent care located next to Meeks Countryside Hospital called Baycare Urgent Care of Countryside. This is a good place for people 2 years and older to go when they have non-life-threatening injuries or illnesses and their primary care provider is closed. Healthy People 2020. HDS2 helps to show us how to reduce coronary heart disease within communities. With heart disease being the leading cause of death in Florida, it is important to focus on how to reduce heart disease associated with deaths in this community. 085 helps reduce the proportion of older adults who have moderate to severe functional limitations. This objective was picked for this community since nearly 21% of Safety Harbor's community is 65 years and up. Reduction in the amount of elderly who have moderate to severe functional limitations reduces the amount of elderly who need to use assisted living facilities, as well as increases the amount of independence in the elderly. STD1 reduces the proportion of adolescents and young adults with chlamydia infections. This is a good objective for this community since the number one communicable disease is chlamydia, and as discussed before, the disease rate is nearly double compared to that of Pasco County. Safety Harbor contains an adequate water supply and quality. This is because it is affordable by charging the residents based on only what they need and a $20 monthly base charge. Water is also available to everyone, and reclaimed water is available to everyone with just an additional cost. The Safety Harbor has an adequate waste system by collecting over 10,000 tons of various waste or trash a year. The trash pickup is affordable at only $26 a month, and recycling is free. The only downfall is trash only comes by once a week. This may be inadequate for families who provide lots of trash during the week. When it comes to air quality, Safety Harbor is adequate with a score of 66 out of 100 on a scale from 1 to 100 on the National Air Toxins Assessment. 1 is considered the worst and 100 is the best. The average U.S. score is 58. This shows that Safety Harbor has a decreased chance of its residents developing cancer or respiratory disease than any other community. Safety Harbor not having their own police department, the Pinellas County Sheriff Department provides an adequate police force for Safety Harbor. They responded to roughly 180 calls from August 10, 2019 to February 10, 2020. Some of these crimes included battery, trespassing, missing persons, and traffic accidents. The Pinellas County Sheriff's Department also is involved in the community by hosting informative once-a-month luncheons that community members can attend. The Safety Harbor Fire Department is an adequate environment resource for this community's needs. There are 2 fire stations located within the community. This fire department provides community education on drowning prevention, smoke detector programs, and blood pressure checks, just to name a few. The only downfall of the fire department is their average response time to calls is 7 minutes and 30 seconds, where the district average is 4 minutes and 35 seconds. This can use some improvement. As discussed on the previous slide, one issue this community faces when it comes to environmental resources is its prolonged response time for its fire department. The Safety Harbor Fire Department has a response time of 3 minutes greater than any other district. When talking with community members, one issue that was brought up was the decreased amount of community trash cans specifically during public weekend events. This community is right on the water and has many wildlife parks. Community members expressed their concerns to me about the fish and other wildlife animals when it comes to people throwing away trash. With decreased community trash cans, this can lead to an increase in pollution and increased wildlife harm. Safety Harbor consists of 5 members, and they are called the Council. Within the Council is a mayor, a vice mayor, and 3 city commissioners. These members each have a term they serve, and they're elected by the public. A downfall is that there are no term limits, so one can hold a spot for several terms. This is a downfall because it can lead to decreased growth or change in the government and policies. Another downfall to this community government style is their community meetings. After extensive research, there is minimal to no public information on when meetings occur or if the public can attend. City Council meeting minutes are available on the city's website. However, this is not helpful for someone who wants to attend the meeting and have their voice heard. One thing this city government excels in is their budget. The city receives more money in its revenues than what the city's expenditures are. This is great for a community because they won't fall into debt. One downfall in the budget I do see is there is nowhere for infrastructure. This is a problem since public parking is a problem for this community. If there was a budget for infrastructure, the community could work on creating a parking garage to increase parking spaces and decrease illegal parking activities on the weekends. Community needs labeled 1 through 6. Number 1 is increased child safety around the water. The east portion of Safety Harbor is surrounded by the Tampa Bay. While I was there, I was alarmed to see the amount of children under the age of 10 being unsupervised around water. This is of concern because as a pediatric nurse, I see the fatality and effects of drowning quite frequently. This was labeled number 1 because education of child safety around water can help prevent a child fatality in the community. Number 2 is education of helmet use during outdoor activities. Safety Harbor has a skate park and many biking trails, which is great for the health. However, a number of children and adults were not wearing helmets. This was labeled number 2 because education on helmets can help prevent serious brain injuries from occurring. Number 3 is anti-smoking education and advertisements. During my windshield survey, I saw several people smoking cigarettes or vape products. As learned in nursing school, smoking can lead to lung cancer as well as an increase of one's chance of a stroke. I wanted to label this higher. However, with a community full of young families and outdoor activities, I felt like the prevention of child fatality and brain injuries from not wearing helmets held a higher level of importance. Number 4 is increased produce. During my community assessment, I noticed there are no organic food or fresh produce stores. Eating fresh produce can help with healthy eating habits and reduce the chance of developing heart disease and obesity. This was labeled lower on the list because there is a Publix located steps from Safety Harbor, which provides fresh produce and organic products. Number 5 is refurbished roadways, and number 6 is increased public parking. I understand these don't have huge nursing implications, but I put these on the list because they are giant needs for this community and discussed earlier are not within the city's government budget. During my windshield survey, I personally observed amount of potholes and uneven roadways in the community. This can lead to car accidents from people swerving from potholes. The increased public parking was a concern community members discussed with me in length while I was in the community and discussed earlier in the presentation. They were labeled last on the list because their nursing implication is minimal. This completes the presentation. I hope you enjoyed.